All right, guys. First off, Notre Dame's got a great football team. They played like the number 3 team in the country today. They made plays on the ball. We had 3 interceptions. We lost the field position war big time. You're never going to win a game, and you're probably going to lose big when you throw 3 interceptions. Joey didn't have a great day, but like I said, you got to give their offense and their defense and their special teams credit. They made plays, and we didn't. But time of possession, 40-20, we couldn't sustain drives offensively and put our defense in tough situations. And when you do that against the number 3 team in the country, you're going to have problems winning football games. So I'll open it up for questions.
How do you explain how things got out of hand there? You mentioned a couple of stats there, but what actually went wrong?
Well, I mean, again, like I said, I'm going to start off again giving Notre Dame credit. Period. They're the number 3 team in the country. They played like it. It's as good as football teams I've seen walk on a field. In the last 6 years, they are talented. They're talented from front to back on both sides of the ball, and we got beat by a better football team. Period. I'm sure the tape will see that. I'll watch the tape and we'll evaluate it and probably have more answers for you when we get together again. I don't know if that's Monday or not. I don't know what our schedule is with EJ. I feel comfortable talking with you again on Monday if that's what EJ says. I don't know with the open week what our schedule is, but I like to watch the tape before I make any comments. But again, I'm going to give credit to Notre Dame. They are a really good football team. They're physical. They're big. Like I told you last Monday, they're a talented football team. I thought we'd stack it up better. I thought we'd be able to throw the ball better. I did not think we'd run the ball great on that front, which they're top run defense in the country. I think, and that's what it is. So we'll reevaluate, we'll regroup. I think we need an open week. I think there's only 2 Power 5 teams in the country that have played 7 games or 6 games for that matter, and we just got to regroup and find ourselves.
Pat, with 1:22 left in the first half, there you guys have 3 timeouts. You're on Notre Dame's 36-yard line. You guys kind of just sit on the ball? Are you content at that point going into the half with what it was, or what happened there?
I'm never content, but with 1:22, I didn't feel like we're going to get in a 2-minute drill and do anything crazy, and then we give up a block punt. But with 1:22, and the backup quarterback in there, didn't want to go slinging it around the park and see something bad happen. So, we figured we needed to regroup and get in at the half and just see what we had to do.
Pat, I think it was early in the second quarter. You guys decided to punt at Notre Dame's 37. Was there any? What was the process there in deciding not to have Alex attempt a long field goal?
Another field goal. I think it was going to be a longer field goal than we wanted to. The wind out there was swirling a little bit at that time, and just didn't feel comfortable. Thought it was better off just to pin them, not give them a short field, and play defense.
Yeah, the defense has given up a lot of big plays, long touchdowns during this, these last 4 games. Is it simply is it the front end not getting home, or are there mistakes in the back end that you're seeing repeatedly?
There's a little bit of both. I mean, on the one they hit, the big one, we brought pressure. We hit the quarterback right as he released it. So, again, I'd have to watch the tape and see how our paths were when we did blitz. We did blitz on that down. We were in cover 3. And, you got a 6'3" receiver on a smaller corner, I think. A little push off, whatever, a little lean on a guy. And number 11 makes a big play. And then, Eric Callett came out of the middle of the field. He's got to finish it up and at least give us another yard to stand on there.
Pat, can you talk about the quarterback play? You mentioned Yellen having a rough day, but also Bevel looked like, he only got 1 series and before he went to Patty. What was it like to kind of juggle quarterbacks out there today?
It's not easy. It's not easy juggling quarterbacks, but, we'll look at the tape and see where we are with the quarterback, but it's not easy when, you have your backup in there and, again, against a really good defense.
Pat, when talking about some of those long touchdowns that you guys have given up during ACC play here, as a coach, what, if anything, can be done to fix that or to prevent those? Or at this point, does this just seem like kind of a fundamental flaw with this group?
I don't know if I'd call it fundamental flaws. Our defense is on the field for a long time today, almost 41 minutes. You know, we got to make plays on the ball. You know, we'll look at the past. We'll look what happened. You know, give Ian Book a lot of credit. I mean, even when we did try to, you know, almost get him. How many times did we almost get him and he scrambled? I don't know. He might have been the leading rusher. You know, he had a nice day rushing the ball and scrambling out of there, which we knew he had, you know, escapability. He's a great athlete. He didn't make any bad decisions. We didn't force him to make bad decisions. He put the ball up where it needed to be. And like I said, I give Ian Book, you know, credit. You know, we put a lot of guys on their back in the backfield, and we couldn't catch him today. He was outstanding, and he manages the game. And I told you he's a leader. We just didn't get him. There's opportunities we had to put him in, you know, whether it's getting off the field on third down and sacking him, and all of a sudden he scrambles for. I think the first series of the game he had 2 third-down scrambles where we just couldn't get off the block and make a tackle on him. So we'll look at that. And like I said, their offensive line, 129 starts. They played like it today, and we couldn't get the pressure. And Ian Book made people miss.
Do you expect to get Kenny back this season?
Excuse me.
Do you expect Kenny back this season?
You broke up again. I'm sorry, Jerry.
Do you expect to get Kenny back this season?
Absolutely. Hopefully sooner than later. He was out there today, and he had a good week. He's doing really well. We'll see. You know, it might be a stretch for Florida State. I don't know, but we'll see.
Looking on more of the offensive side, there were a lot of drops. So how would you address that going into the bye week here and kind of coming out there?
You know, we'll look at the tape. I don't know if there was a lot of drops. You know, I don't know if we had enough balls where they needed to be. You know, I'm not sure how accurate we were today as quarterbacks and throwing the football. You know, we'll look at that. But, you know, we got to make plays when the ball comes to us. We had a couple, you know, balls weren't, you know, put where they need to be put. You know, whether it's over the middle and hanging a receiver out, whatever it may be. We'll look at the tape and see exactly where we are there.
Pat, it looked like Paris wasn't very happy about when he came out of the game in the third quarter. Can you talk about what went into the decision to take him out then?
Well, it was nothing that we were taking him out for any reason. We talked all week, you know, just by rotating those guys that we wanted to get Brandon Hill in the game and get him active. We thought with a lot of the 12 personnel, we were seeing the 2 tight ends that Brandon's a good football player. I mean, Brandon, in my opinion, is a starter at safety as well. We got a lot of faith in him. He's a good hitter, and that's really what it was. But, you know, nobody wants to be taken out of the game. It wasn't taken out of the game for any reason except to give Brandon Hill, you know, a series. And, you know, I guess he wasn't happy. I'm not sure. But, you know, that happens sometimes.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
But we got one more question here.
One more?
Yeah,
Coach, you talked about the bye week coming up and just getting this team back on the winning track. I mean, what was the message at halftime, if you could share, to just get these guys focused moving forward?
You know, I said, hey, it's 0-0 at halftime. We're going to go out and play it. I think our kids played hard. You know, we just outmatched today for whatever reason. Like I said, I'm going to give credit to Notre Dame. I think they're big. I think they're physical. I think they're fast. Obviously, they're well coached. And the message at halftime was like, hey, we go out and regather and go. And, you know, I can't tell you we played a worse second half than we did first half. You know, it's about the same from what I saw, except for a couple picks and, you know, a couple more short yards. I mean, we gave up a block, you know, a block punt, and, you know, they didn't score in the fourth quarter. And we had a 49-yard drive for a touchdown, and he had a 35-yard drive for a touchdown. So those are short fields, and offenses, you know, will drool when they get those short fields. It opens up the playbook to do whatever you want to do. You're in 4-down territory in both those situations, and it's not easy. I mean, both touchdowns, I believe, they had a field goal. You know, looking at it, 14-play, 72 drive. Our guys played hard, forced a field goal in the third. And then we had, you know, like I said, that 49-yard drive and a 35-yard drive for touchdowns. And you know, our guys never quit and never questioned their effort. Like I said, you know, I'm not so sure the second half wasn't better than the first half, but it's a good football team that we played today. They're the number 3 team in the country. And I would imagine you're probably looking at a Clemson Notre Dame based on what I've seen in an ACC championship game.
All right, Coach.
Did penalties bother you more than anything else?
Penalties, you said? No, there's a lot
Yes.
of things that bother me. I don't know what the penalties were for the day, but now I'm just looking at it right now. 12 penalties, yeah. I mean, there's just little penalties here and there, and they'll get you. So yeah, penalties bother me when I see 12, and that's more than we had last week.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Coach.
Have a good